welcome back to the Cultural Hangover. I was on vacation last week in the very fun Las Vegas. Had to pick me up some merch. So we have some catching up to do. First of all, the Grammys happened, which means we got the usual expensive outfits and rich people congratulating rich people, and a room full of celebrities pretending that they're brave for saying the same political slogans that they've been repeating for 10 years. It's just kind of gotten worse. We need to bring back Ricky Gervais, right? To give the intro, to remind people to just accept the reward and sit down because no one cares what they think about politics. But this year, Billie Eilish gave us a moment so perfectly representative of modern celebrity activism. It could literally be taught in a class. I wish we had a class on this. Here's what not to do. Here's how to not look like an idiot. Don't be like Billie, okay? She gets up on stage, accepts her award, and pretends to be an expert on immigration policy. And the room responds pretty much exactly how you'd expect the room to respond. Applause, smiles, positive reinforcement. Oh, Billie, you're so brave. Oh, so inspiring. The moral pat on the back ritual. Watch this.
Is illegal on stolen land. No one is illegal on stolen land.
Okay. Yes.
And
I'm tearing up.
yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And I say sorry.
No. Just no. Keep speaking up, guys. Your voice really matters. Actually doesn't, especially when you're sticking up for criminals, literally, in every case. Everyone in that room just got to feel like they participated in justice without doing anything that cost them a single dollar or a single inconvenience, for that matter. And obviously, these award shows are not where ideas go to be tested. They're there to just be rewarded for everything they say. The Grammys are basically a giant group chat where celebrities get to reassure each other that they're good people. So when Billie says no one is illegal on stolen land, the room doesn't respond critically, with questions, thinking for themselves. Questions like, what does that mean practically? Does that apply to violent criminals? Do laws matter? Do borders matter? Do citizens matter? Do the people who have been raped and murdered by illegals that Biden let in with zero vetting, do those people matter, Billie? No. They respond like Billie just created this sacred text. This is the core problem about celebrity politics. It's not about truth. It's about the vibes. So if we take Billie's slogan seriously for 1 minute, because if you're going to say it on a national stage, we're allowed to critique it. Let's say no one is illegal on stolen land. Okay, if no one is illegal, then the concept of immigration law is illegitimate. If immigration law is illegitimate, then deportation is immoral. If deportation is immoral, then borders are basically just imaginary lines. And if borders are imaginary, then citizenship doesn't mean anything. And if citizenship doesn't mean anything, there's no such thing as a nation. There's no such thing as sovereignty. There's no such thing as the right to self-governance. So that's exactly what the slogan implies when you follow it logically. Now, maybe Billie believes all of that, and maybe she doesn't. But this is a political statement that she's making. So if she wants to use it, we're allowed to examine it. And it gets quite funny after this, because after the speech, the internet did what the internet does, it took her statement and applied it to her life. This is why I love the internet, you guys. And this is why I love X, because these conversations can flow freely. And so if you're going to say we're all living on stolen land, you, Billie, are not exempt. Now, Sinai law firm on X offered to evict Billie Eilish because her mansion is allegedly on stolen land from the Tongva tribe, Native American tribe. And people started to realize how stupid it was for Billie to say that. How can land be stolen if no one is illegal? Figure that one out. Meanwhile, Billie is snuggled up safe and sound in said mansion with security systems and gates and walls and bodyguards, probably. Her mansion is not exempt. Your private property is not exempt. Your gated neighborhood is not exempt. And suddenly the conversation gets very uncomfortable because stolen land is a cute slogan until it touches something real. And for celebrities, until they actually have to reckon with some kind of uncomfortable thing or sacrifice or inconvenience. Until someone points to your $1 million mansion and says, wait a second, you are on Native American land. So give the land back. And whether or not a Native American tribe literally files a claim, I think that whole offer to file for eviction pro bono ended up being a joke. But regardless, the point still stands, because the logic of the slogan, if you believe it, doesn't stop at the United States border. It reaches everyone's front door, including these high and mighty celebrities. And that kind of just, Billie's reaction to all this, by the way, it just highlights that celebrities don't actually believe any of their slogans. They're just saying them for, the claps and like, oh, she's so brave, this reinforcement we have going on. It's kind of like the companies that use pride flags, during Pride Month. It's just moral branding. It's a performance. And performance is fine, especially because most of these people are actors. But you gotta admit that it's a performance. But they never do. And they want the moral credit without any of the accountability, without any of the sacrifice. And they just want selective anarchy, basically. They want anarchy in the streets, just not in their private mansions. That is private. You got to keep that one private. But everyone else, who cares? Like, be kind. Let people into your home who are criminals. And that's, obviously they don't want property rights to disappear, right? They don't want the part where their wealth becomes stolen. They don't want the part where their gated lifestyle becomes illegitimate. Just chaos for everyone else and security for themselves. All the benefits of capitalism without any of the responsibility. And the people who do pay the price are the working class, obviously. Citizens whose neighborhoods get destabilized while the rich celebrities preach about being compassionate. Aren't you a good person? Why don't you be kind to everyone, including criminals who are killing your neighbors? It's never compassion for the victims, right? It's compassion for the people who are breaking the law. So if Billie Eilish wants to say that no one is illegal on stolen land, she can say that. She can say it. It's a stupid thing to say, but she can say it. Because the second you apply her own logic to her own life, the entire thing collapses. It's just a costume. This moral high ground that they're displaying. It's a costume. And like all costumes, it comes off the minute it gets uncomfortable. Switching gears here, we have the Super Bowl halftime show over the weekend, headlined this year by Bad Bunny. And it was a little bit weird. A little bit weird. Weird in the way that it seemed less like an American halftime show and more like a statement about language and identity and what America is supposed to mean now. I think it's pretty widely understood that America, in general, when used in conversation, is referring to the United States of America. Okay? It's a really long name. You're not gonna United States of America, like United Statesian thing. Like America, American is just kind of like a short version of referring to the United States generally when you're using it in conversation. But Bad Bunny wants to make the point that America is technically every country in the Americas. So he wants to include all of those countries. We get it. We know that other countries are technically America, but they're not all the United States. And ironically, side note, the people who really enjoy the political statement that the United States is really all about other countries where people came from originally, I guess, or recently, they all threw a hissy fit when Trump wanted to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America, because that's too selfish of the United States, too self-centered, I guess. But if America includes, all of these states. Anyway, so let's talk about the specifics of this. The Super Bowl is not the Olympics. It's not the World Cup. It's not a United Nations cultural festival. It's the NFL championship, which is a United States tradition. I would say American, but I guess we got to be super specific now because no one knew what we were talking about when we said American. United States tradition. And that doesn't mean that you can't feature other cultures, obviously. Like, it's super cool that people from various cultures are in the United States, but it's a melting pot, right? Like, yes, celebrate other cultures, sure. But the United States also has its own culture, which is the mix of these things and into something new, right? But that gets, tossed to the side because I don't even know why. Why is that? And, artists of various heritages have graced the halftime stage in, over the years. But this entire show sort of felt more like an international unity ceremony, which again is a little bit weird for something that is exclusive to the United States as a United States tradition, United States culture. And before people start screaming at me, oh, it's anti-Spanish, it's anti-Latino, I'm Hispanic, okay? Spare me. It's more a question of audience and intent and the production. The Super Bowl is the biggest American broadcast of the year, I believe. One of, if not the biggest broadcast of the year. And overwhelmingly, the majority of the audience speaks English. Only English. So it's objectively strange to have a halftime show where most viewers cannot understand or connect to because they can't understand the entire show. Not because Spanish is bad, but because communication matters and connection matters when you're talking about who your audience is. And you might say, well, the NFL is trying to expand its audience reach and make this not just a United States thing. Why? Like, what's wrong with it being a United States thing? It seems to me that everything culturally United States is being expanded to everyone else, given to everyone else. It's like slowly with things like this, we're diminishing United States culture. Because if things like, Super Bowl and other things that are exclusive to United States are just dispersed and given away to the rest of the world, you don't have a culture exclusive to the United States anymore, because you've expanded everything that was specific to us to everyone else. And if you're trying to unify the audience, as supposedly this was the point, why would you pick a format where most of the loyal audience that tunes in every single year is left out of the message? The NFL is not all of America. It's the United States. Again, America, United States of America. Okay, when you say America, you're not saying, oh, like, you're not in America because you're not the United States. Semantics, right? If you want to celebrate Latin American cultures, that's great. Do that. But don't act like it's hateful or divisive when people notice that this symbolism is pushing a political idea. The United States is that this idea that the United States is not a country. It's just this concept that belongs to everyone. We conservatives tend to reject that because we live in reality. Countries have borders. Languages matter. Culture matters. And if you don't build unity by pretending that those things don't exist. And then Lady Gaga shows up. And she performs in English. This was the first portion of English. The only portion of English, I believe, in the whole show. I think he says one line at the end that's in English. He says, "God bless America," or something like that. But other than that, the entire thing was in Spanish, with the exception of the Lady Gaga portion. And it's a Latin cover of some song. I forget the song, but she's, kind of dressed up Latin with her hair with like flower and like trying to do like some kind of salsa dance. Where are these cultural appropriation people at? Just a question. Just asking. But it's just funny. So yeah, this is the only portion. It was like less than 2 minutes, I think. This was the only thing that was in English. This whole system of like, oh, Lady Gaga, you can't dress like that and pretend to be Hispanic because you're not. But everyone loves Lady Gaga, so I guess it's fine. But if someone else wears their hair in braids, that's cultural appropriation. How dare they? That's racist. You're erasing black people if you wear braids. But Lady Gaga can do that, whatever that was. I do encourage you to look up that clip, though. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, to be honest. Mostly this dichotomy of like the left can't keep their story straight. Like, is it a rule? Is it not a rule? Like, please explain. But it's really about power. Rules for thee and not for me type of thing. And the rules change depending on who's doing it. Lady Gaga, for example, can do whatever the hell she wants. It's not a new concept. They have the consistency. The left has the consistency and the emotional maturity of toddlers when it comes to understanding these basic concepts, like be consistent in your ideology, like have principles that aren't changing depending on who's doing the thing and what the situation is. And another part of this, because we're not allowed to criticize it without being called a bigot or a grandma, Bad Bunny's music, like a lot of mainstream pop and rap, it includes a lot of explicitly sexual content. Not romantic, not even suggestive. Very, very explicit. Like, I had to look up what songs he was singing because I don't speak Spanish. And figure out like what it was that he was singing about. What are these songs? What is the translation in English? Man, oh man. Okay, guys, these songs are disgusting. Like, they're so bad. That fact matters because, again, Super Bowl is one of the largest broadcasts. Families watch this stuff. It's one of the last remaining cultural events in America that's still broadly considered a family night, a living room event. The kids are running around type of event. And everyone knows that. So the same people who claim to be like these morally enlightened, sensitive, protective, suddenly they don't care that Bad Bunny is singing about disgusting things explicitly, not even just suggesting things, but like saying all the things, really. But if a comedian makes a joke about the wrong group, cancel them. Movie has harmful stereotypes, cancel it. Ban children's books that don't have the right messaging. But if a halftime show is packed with sexual themes, explicit lyrics, and performed on a national television in front of millions of kids, no one cares. It's cool, It's culture. This is culture. If you don't like this, you're against Latin culture. It's pretty racist, actually. The bigger point is that the show wasn't just entertainment. It's an ideological statement wrapped in this, the raunchy choreography, the horrible lyrics. And this messaging is the United States is not a country. It's a vibe. It belongs to everyone. The NFL is not a U.S. institution. It's this global stage where you can, make political statements. And cultural appropriation rules only apply when it's useful. And also, sexual content is fine as long as the approved people are doing it. Now, take a look at this closing sequence from Bad Bunny in case you missed it.
God bless America. Sea Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, Perú, Ecuador, Brasil, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá,